Infuriatingly, we're called a blog in Google News, but we're trying to get that sorted.
So do you have an office or you've got advertising stuff?
Do we have an office?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're based in Hanover Street. This is very picturesque.
Hi. It looks like your early figures, you've got 1 million page impressions and 500,000 users. It looks like a lot of people have come in through a particular story that you've got an exclusive or something. Are you building up a growing regular audience as well? And what sort of target have you set to get a X number of regular users per month or per week?
Our target is to have between 20 and 30,000 unique users per day by the end of the year. There will be spikes in our traffic because, like I said, we'll hit front page of Dig every now and then, and that'll bring in 15, 16,000 page views, and that skews the number of views per user.
I was interested that you said it was annoying that in Google News you were listed as a blog, and also that you were in the UK Newspaper Awards. You don't have any print product. You have no printing presses. Are you the living example that being a newspaper is a mindset?
There's 3 points. Two of them are entirely spurious, but I'll give you them anyway. One, everything we do is very professional. Two, we have an editing process. And three, if you say you're a blog, you can kiss goodbye to a lot of advertising. Until the advertising market is ready to treat blogs in the same way as it treats newspapers, we're an online newspaper. And we've got enough cover to make that story fly.
Hi. Given that you said a lot of your contributions are based on goodwill, how sustainable do you think that is? And do you expect that at some point you're going to need to employ journalists full time? I think
basically the goodwill will last as long as we're able to give a decent amount of money to our journalists. They've all bought into the idea. They know the challenges we face. They know that if I'm getting paid, then they're going to get paid. Yes, further down the line, I suspect we will need to bring in sort of some kind of minimum payment and some kind of minimum guarantee of content from them. So we'll guarantee we'll pay you X a month, but you guarantee you give us X stories a month in return. Yes, I think we will have to move to that before the end of the year, probably. Any questions? Yes.
So was it relatively, practically nothing, just in terms of?
If you count my time, my business, there's 3 people in the business. It's me, I handle editorial, and the other 2 handle technical and sales. If you count our time as free, then there were virtually no costs whatsoever. And everything we wanted to do was about minimizing costs so that we could maximize payments to journalists and maximize our own income. So we have tried throughout the project to keep the costs minimal. So building something in WordPress is free. Luckily, we had the expertise in-house to help that happen. And the writing is paid for on a revenue share basis. And we are now having to look at some kind of cost, but the startup period, it was, our costs were virtually zero.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Oh.
Yeah, I just wondered what your main revenue streams are and where you think that might go in the future.
Our main revenue streams so far have been from sales to organizations because I'd worked as in marketing and served my 2 business partners. We had certain relationships, and they provided us with useful ways into to advertisers that way. So it's relationship-based sales where you sit down face to face and you pitch. That's where the kind of premium sales, that's where most of the revenue has come from. Then after that, it's inquiries through the site, which we're quite lucky, we've got quite a few of them. And then finally, network sales, your Google Ads and your AdChug, which nobody is going to get rich off. So we're putting our effort where the money is in the relationship-based sales pitches for premium advertising.
Just a small question. So do you sell CPM or per week? What kind of?
We sell CPM, and we ran a CPA campaign for the Scottish Government. So we'll display advertising, cost per click, cost per acquisition. Really, we're not in a position to be fussy about it. I mean, we're at the stage in the business where basically, you know, all negotiation is downward in price and upward in difficulty.
No other questions? Oh.
Just trying to think how to frame the question. You yourself have come from a background in newsrooms of national newspapers. How crucial was that, first of all, in recruiting journalists, and second, in credibility in setting up the organisation? Because it's not a project that your random blogger could look at setting up, even if they've got all the skills to do it.
The key thing in recruiting the journalists was, one, because I'd worked with most of these people, I had an existing relationship. Also, they believe that I'm a guy who can work out how to make the internet work for them. It was born out of several conversations with people saying, well, I want to set up a website and I'm not sure how to make money out of it. And eventually I thought, well, you know, why don't you all just come together? And why don't we do something as a group together? Certainly in terms of the opening doors with advertisers and in terms of the publicity, the fact that I'd got an existing background helped. Scotland's quite a small country when it comes to that kind of thing, and that, you know, I was able to leverage such as my reputation was to promote the product. But, you know, the internet is a fantastically level playing field, and if you have cracking content, then you've got a chance. There's no, the tragedy is, you know, we're used to sort of guaranteed incomes and guaranteed jobs, but if you're, you know, if you're willing to take the punt, then you've got a chance of it working. And I think we're going to see the birth of several publications that are like the Cali Merc, you know, based on roughly that idea of journalists coming together and producing content. And some of them will fail, and maybe most of them will fail, but one or two will survive and thrive. And that's what I find very exciting about this period we're in journalism. It's the newsrooms are disintegrating, the old ways of earning a living are disintegrating. That's really painful, that's really unpleasant. But something else is being born, that somebody somewhere is going to make a living out of journalism, because what we do is interesting and it's important. And somehow we're going to work out a way of making a living out of it, hopefully before we all starve to death.
Do your journalists all write under their names?
Do they write under their names? Yes. Yeah. No pseudonyms, no.
Okay. If we no other questions, then thank you very much, Stuart Kirkpatrick.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.